Hello everyone. Today is Saturday, February 6, 2016. What a gorgeous, gorgeous Saturday afternoon. I have to tell you that. Uh, we have sunny skies, 78 to 80 degrees. Beautiful, beautiful, cool weather, but with the beautiful sun. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had very cold, certainly a cold shift. Morning and nighttime temperature can be 36 degrees to almost freezing. But now, today is 78 to 80 degrees. So the weather is really, really strange phenomenon in Southern California. Anyway, today I want to come out here and make a video and to answer very, very important questions that some of you asked. And that question is about watering and how often do I water my dragon fruit, or just watering, the subject of watering any plant for that matter. Okay, so today, but I want to take dragon fruit as just one of the example of the plants here that I have here, and I want to talk about some of the guidelines. Now, they're not hard rules; they're just guideline in terms of watering, and based on my experience doing this. Maybe you can take some of this and see if it works for you. Okay, so let's go over what are some of the guidelines. And once you know this guideline, you don't have to remember, you don't have to worry about how much to water your plants and when you water plant. So first thing I would say is that know your plants. What kind of plant are you growing? Here, I'm just using this one as example. This is a dragon fruit, and dragon fruit is what? It's a cactus. Cactus, in terms of what they need, very low. They don't need as much water. They live in the very dry, arid kind of desert conditions. But there's exception. There are some exceptions. Dragon fruit from South America. This variety, they do like the moisture, even though they don't mind being dry, but they don't mind being wet either. Okay, so this is one of the exceptions to the rules. That's why you have to know your plant. Okay, so here's another thing. Number two, the climate zone. Which climate zone are you're growing your plant? Is it zone 1, zone 2, whatever the zone is? I don't even know my zone. But in terms of very hard conditions, it's dry desert, wind, 4 seasons, tropicals, snow. So know your climate zone. The third thing I would say, the weather conditions at the present moment. So what season are we in? Winter, summer, spring. In summer, most likely you have to water it more. Spring and winter, less water. How hot the temperature during the day, consistently in 80, 90 degrees, then you probably need to water some. If it's 60 degrees, like now in winter, you don't need to water them. So this is just a guideline. It's not hard. Another thing is, check before you water anything, check the soil level for moisture. So put your hand in here around 12 inches in diameter in the plant. Just remove some soil beneath there several inches. If the top several inches is moist and wet, you know the bottom is probably wet too. And if you look at here, it's very dry, you can tell, and here it's moist, okay? And when it's moist and like this, you don't need to water the plant. And they should be happy right now as we speak. So then another thing is the drainage. So even if you water once a week, if the water does not drain well, your plant will probably be drowned in the water. So drainage is so important. Quite often, most people, in terms of their beginner, they either overwater the plants or underwater the plants. So either they let the plant go for months without watering and then dry out and it's dead, or they water too much, they go out and water daily and the plant ends up dead as well because they drown and the roots rot beneath the soil which you can't see. And when the roots rot and die, then the plant naturally going to die. And what kind of soil, and then lastly, I think, what kind of soil are you planting your plant? Is it very sandy soil? Here I have clay, so the drainage is not very well. When it's wet, it's very wet. When it's dry, it's very dry, right? So it's always extreme. So if you have a balance of sand, clay, silt, whatever, and a lot of compost, then the soil is able to retain a lot of moisture. That's the moisture level, the retention level is better when you have a good balance of the soil. But nobody gonna have the perfect soil. So sandy soil, well drained. Clay soil, not too well drained. So you want to be in between, somewhat in between. And then where do you grow your plant? In the ground or in the container? Most likely, and it again depends on the soil, most likely the container will be dried out a little bit quite faster, and because you have a lot of drainage here, so once you water the container, the drainage should run out, the water should run out, and containers are a lot smaller, so naturally it will be dried out a little bit faster. And again, it depends on what kind of material, what kind of soil material you have in the container as well. Just same thing as ground. Okay, so that's some of the guidelines, or at least that what I follow when I water my plant, and I don't think about it. I just naturally, just instinctively, I know that my plant needs water or not. And finally, the last thing is just pay attention to your plant. If the plant is dry and it's crying out for water, you can tell by looking at some of the leaves. It's dried out, it's really brown, and all the leaves are crumbling up. And if you water too much, some of the leaves will turn yellowish, and slowly you can tell the plant is just leaning over, and because it's so much moisture. So also pay attention to your plant, and that's how you can really tell if you need to water them or not. Of course, I'm just talking about dragon fruit, but it applies to every plant, tree, grass, whatever you're planting. Okay, so let me go over and let me summarize it really quick. First, know your plant. Second, know your climate zone. Third, the weather conditions at the present moment. Fourth, check the moisture level in the soil. Fifth, drainage, in terms of drainage. Sixth, where you're planting your plant in container or in the ground. And finally, the last thing, number 7, it's just observe your plant. And that's it. Okay, those are just the basic guidelines that I follow throughout my years of gardening, and I hope it will serve you well. So there's no hard rule about how often you should water your plant. Use your common sense and dig yourself in and go out there and actually work with the plant, and you will learn and you will get to know them, and eventually you just instinctively know what to do. Okay, I hope you get something out of this video. I don't want to go too long. It's probably past 8 minutes already. And if you have any comments, please post a comment for me. Please subscribe to our channel. My kids will love that. And happy gardening, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching.